doing, everyone? I will be joined shortly by my good friend, Mr. L. Remove this light source a little bit. There we go. I think that did it. Mr. L, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Hello, hello.
So, this is a little different format than what we're used to. I have the overhead camera that I usually use for my battles, pointing down to my little mat where I'm doing all my painting things. Front camera is, of course, facing over here. I have my light source. I don't have a cool overhead light, like, the Pixar ones that point down. I have just a regular, lamp. Sorry for blinding you. And then I have my drink with my 2020 Special Reserve s'more cookies, Girl Scout cookies. Those things are amazing. And yeah, I'm ready to do some painting. Now, Mr. L is my good friend. He's an amazing painter. He helps encourage me to go ahead and freaking put some paint on some minis. I have a project that I'm working on right now. You see the bits and pieces of it. If you could guess what it is, then fantastic. My players might be watching this, and this is something for the campaign coming up for them. And I'm ready to slap some paint on this. Mr. L, what will you be working on today?
I have a dragon egg that I 3D printed that I'm going to be custom painting because it actually holds dice, and it's a gift for a
Oh,
friend of mine.
nice.
Something I 3D printed a while back ago, and now I actually have time to paint. So let's get painting, right?
Yeah. Oh man. The thing is, with this project, I can't wait to get it done. And it's a big project. I've never attempted anything like this before. I'm not a. I mean, I could paint stuff. I mean, I've painted things. Here's one of the things nearby. It's not even done. I haven't based it yet. But here's my dragon. It's from the Nolzier set. It is the young red dragon. Pretty happy with it. I'll bring it up over here. The lighting is horrible on that camera. Maybe this will look better. Not too much better. But oh well. Got the wings. Got the gradient on the wings. I'm pretty happy with it. But again, the base is still primed, so I gotta I'm just probably gonna do some gray on there. Nothing too fancy. And when am I gonna flock it? I'm not sure. But that one's there for now. But I have other projects I want to do. Like over here, I have a Drider. I want to paint not one, but two of them. And I have these two dragon wormlings that I want to get done. But I can't get to any of that until I'm done with this thingy. So painting I will go. How big is that dragon egg that you have?
This guy is about 3.5 inches tall. It's not big. It's literally made to fit the mini sets of dice. You know, the really tiny ones.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, a friend of mine, she has think like 4 or 5 of those sets that'll fit perfectly in this thing, and you can even
Nice.
throw in your mini if you want it inside. It's that small. It's something small and compact you can take anywhere for D&D on the go.
Right on. Let's see. I definitely want to use this. That's kind of cool. I still have that mimic you did for me. I started painting it. I haven't finished it. That is the best mimic I own. I can't wait to finish because it's a nice
And then
model.
unleash it on the unsuspecting parties, right?
Absolutely. I can almost hear you say, "How dare you attack me with my own 3D printed mini I made for you?"
Yeah. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Exactly. I give you my creation, and what do? You spit in my face.
Oh, I haven't just. I've fallen into the trap of buying so many primed minis that I have to start working through them. I have to. I just. Oh my god! I'm looking at my shame at the table over here right now, and some
Start
like
getting
half painted ones that I got to get to.
okay.
Oh well. But I encourage everyone, if you have any primed minis, and usually a lot of miniatures that are coming out right now, especially in the WizKids, there's some minis that you could have gotten randomly through their box sets. And if you buy it online, they could range anywhere from like 20 to 50. They cost a lot, like $50 or whatever, or $35 for these limited edition or rare ones. But then they'll reprint these minis and primed like 10, $15. And that's a great deal. Like some of the Yuan T, I don't know what the prices are now, but like months ago, if you wanted to buy some of the Yuan T, like the snake arms or the snake head, those bastards cost like $10 plus each, or something ridiculous like that. I think one of them close to $20, which is ridiculous. Or if you just buy like a little pack of two of them for like $5, primed, just paint it, It's just a much better deal, much more bang for your buck. The only Prime Domini I know of that's really hard to get a hold of because it sells up fast is the Beholder. That thing is gonna it just flies off the shelves.
That's why I've gotten into the habit of I'm gonna end up 3D modeling my own beholder and just printing it out myself because it's really hard to find them, and I like giving mine a little different expression versus the usual just mouth open.
Yeah, and the fun thing about beholders, they can literally look like anything. They can have any kind of color, any kind of. The
Mhm.
eye stalks look different. They could be some could be scaled, some could be just have any kind of flesh, like leathery, kind of an undead. They have undead beholders. They have beholders are only limited by the imagination, and they actually, if I'm remembering the lore correctly, they come from the imagination. Somehow, a beholder could dream another beholder into existence, and beholders are in general paranoid creatures and creations. They think they're the best at everything, but they're also paranoid that everything's coming out to get them. So if there's another beholder, they will not get along at all. Fun fact. Oh, hello. I sound a tad quiet. Do I? Really? Huh. Hang on.
Gonna boost that mic volume.
Boost the mic. Boost, boost, boost. How about now? How now, brown cow? I think it's what he said. Am I sounding better? I can tell. Hello, hello.
You're sounding good to me, but we're talking through
Yeah,
Discord, so
Discord, exactly. So much better. Ah, there we go. All right, good, good, good. All right, here we go. It's always daunting. It's always scary putting paint on a mini. You're like, oh, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna mess it up. We just gotta jump in there and do it, man. Oh, this paint is still. I gotta shake this up a little more. It's been a while. That's how you could tell you haven't painted enough. When your little pots and droppers are. God, you gotta mix them. I
also
joke.
for you guys looking at my stream, this little dish that I have right here, I actually 3D printed myself. You can find a printable paint disc like this that holds all your different palettes and stuff like that for colors on Thingiverse if you have a 3D printer. So you can literally save yourself a lot of money in the long run, so you're not constantly buying new paint palettes.
Mm-hmm. A paint palette that I love is this one I'm using right here. You can see it on the screen. It's a wet palette. So there's like a little sponge with essentially what is a parchment paper on top that keeps the paint wet so it doesn't dry up as quickly. And that is really helpful. There we go. We'll just dash this paint on. All right.
I'm going to be working on a little bit of a gradient effect on this Dragon Egg. So this is going to be a few different layers of color. So this is going to take a little bit.
This is a miniature I'm going to use in my game. Stardust, who's in chat, plays in my games, so no doubt she's probably wondering what the heck this is going to be. See if you find out, Stardust. And then when you find out, if you do find out what it is, you have to think, well, is this could be a friend or a foe? So even though you know what it is, it still won't help you. You still won't know. Also, mwaha.
I feel like I'm painting a giant Easter egg right now.
Heckin' concerned. Yeah, you may or may not have to be. And your Easter egg is awesome, Mr. Elf, because yours spawns a dragon or awesome dice. Either way, it's a win.
Yes. Well, working on the gradient is what's going to be the hardest part. People have a lot of different processes on how to get their gradients. I definitely have my own process on how I do mine.
My process.
Usually I do flat bars first of color, and then I start blending in betweens where those colors meet.
My process is something I could describe best as slapdash. Uh,
That'll work too. That'll definitely work.
when you do the gradients on your that mechanical dragon, the clockwork or eldritch dragon, that was a nice looking dragon, dude.
That definitely took me some time and a whole lot of patience because of all the little nooks and crannies that it had. But it came out, and I really liked it. And I really did enjoy it.
Those are good times. I miss when you could actually come over to my place and we could paint like
I
normal
know,
people.
I know. When we could interact like normal people.
That's one thing. Painting is I can never get into groove of painting on my own. This is an example. Like if you've heard me on stream before, how I describe painting and the desire to paint. This is nothing new, but I've always described it as getting a gym membership, right? Working out. It's good for you. And once you start working out, once you get a rhythm, you're into it. The problem is getting started and sticking to that rhythm. And usually what helps with that is a gym buddy who will encourage you, all right, time to get up, time to go, get that extra set, get that extra weight, go, 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 motivates you. Mr. L is that person for me. He keeps me painting. This was actually his suggestion. He kept saying, we got to do a paint stream, man. We got to do a paint stream.
Because it's one, it's really relaxing, and two, it's
It is.
just always good to have good people around when you're doing something you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Reasoning why I haven't painted the bottom of the egg yet, if you guys are asking, is literally because if I flip it upside down to paint other parts, I don't want to end up it getting stuck to the base right here. The bottom's gonna be the last bit that I end up painting.
This is a little more difficult to paint than I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in this one. And I'm not really Mr. L definitely more so than mine. I'm not really qualified to teach anyone how to paint, but I could tell you what I'm doing, and I'll find out if it works or not. And based on what I'm doing, you could decide if you want to do the same thing. I guess what I'm saying is I'm teaching you how to jump off a bridge. You don't necessarily have to jump off a bridge with me in the way I'm doing it. Or maybe you'll realize, hey, that bungee cord he used is pretty good. Essentially, learn from my mistakes and my successes. Probably mostly from my mistakes. And that's okay.
Well, that's one of the best parts about learning anything. It's understanding where you made a mistake and changing it up for the better.
Yep. And I hear a lot of people always saying when it comes to painting, don't be afraid of making those mistakes. Because the only way you learn is when you just get into it. I remember when I painted my first mini, I was so scared of taking the brush and making that first contact. But then once I got into the groove, I cared, but I didn't care as much about making the mistake because I broke the ice, right? I became comfortable with crossing that threshold, and I already took the risk. The paint is already there, so I might as well just keep painting. And once you get that momentum going, you're good. And there's a lot of really good primed minis out there now, and there's a lot of good like independent people selling 3D printed stuff that is people model themselves, and some of it's really amazing, like really amazing. I bought this one serpentine one that actually for the battle, pardon me, for the Styx dragon, I ordered it for that fight after the fact. I mean, I ended up using, if you watched the stream previous to this one, just an hour ago or so, I used a different mini. The mini I used is actually a Red Dragon one from a Pathfinder set. It's really nice. But a Styx dragon is actually more serpentine, and I didn't really have anything like that. But you make do. But then I saw this model last week. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta order it. Ordered expedited shipping, but USPS is doing what they can, but it's really tough to get stuff delivered in like a week right now. So I was asking for much, but I figured, I'll give it a shot. And if it doesn't get there in time, I still have an awesome mini. So
Yep.
still a win. have to do 2 coats on this bad boy. So I primed this guy black. And I'm thinking maybe I should have gone with a white. But oh well. Maybe brighter colors I would have liked a lot more.
Yeah, if I ever have to prime anything like the egg, I've already pre-primed, but I have an airbrush that I use. So it hits all the little nooks and crannies for me and just makes my life a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I remember you brought it over that one day. That thing worked very well.
I still have that owlbear I primed at your place here. I need to paint that one. That one's just been sitting in the box. It will be done though. It will be. I'm going to be using some very out there colors. It will not be your run of the mill owlbear coloring.
It's gonna be definitely off the reservation style. Pink owlbear, you think?
It might have some pink in it actually.
Nice. You know, there's an owlbear that's white, like an Arctic owlbear. They're supposed to be kind of rare.
Oh yeah. I like I'm actually making custom stat blocks for some of the creatures I paint because I'm actually making off what is it called? Like subspecies of certain creatures.
Cool.
Because having carrion crawlers are awesome, but what if they were carrion crawlers in a jungle setting versus just in the Underdark? And they grew and mutated based on their life in the jungle.
I love that you do that. You did that with your copper dragon. You did a patina on him that was just freaking amazing. Like he was corroding, like he was cursed, I believe you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That looked amazing. It literally looked like oxidizing copper. It looked just like it.
Well, I have that, but I also created a Remoraz that's in the Underdark. It has bioluminescent gills, like the little side fins on it, and instead of being fire, it actually uses thunder because of the bioluminescence feature that it has in it. So it has specific stats and stuff like that that deal with that, and it also has different coloring. It's not your basic blue. It actually matches more of the Underdark, so it's more of a brown mineral color for the carapace of its body and stuff like that. So little you can take existing things and give them that little extra spice to change it up. So it's like, okay, this is why this creature's here, and I'm that nerd that likes to go into the whole biology and etymology of a creature. So it's like, okay, what caused this creature to become the way it is? So I go through all that when I'm actually custom painting my miniatures. Hence the reason why I love my artificer so much. This makes sense. Purple right there. Work on the next color.
God, I gotta wait for this thing to dry before I can get to some of the other nooks.
And the easiest way to keep your brushes clean, if you're going to be using the same brush to go over stuff so you don't get any stuff muddled, what I actually do is I keep a cup of water as per usual, but I actually put I have a thinner that I use for my airbrush that I keep over here that I actually mix some of that with the water, so it helps pull all that extra paint off the brushes and stuff. So it actually helps with that.
I remember when you were using that thinner. That was nice. Kept your brushes nice and clean.
It's all little things I've learned throughout trial and error and many years of mini painting. Because I started painting Warhammer minis for the guys I served with way back when. Which was really funny how I got into that. One of my buddies just comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're an artist, right?" And I'm like, yeah, what do you need? And by that time, I was already drawing tattoos and stuff for people I served with. So I was expecting him to be like, hey, can you do a tattoo for me? He's like, can you paint something really small? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he literally pulls out a set of Chaos Space Marines, and he's like, I need these painted. And
And with
I'm
that,
a
it
big
started.
I'm a big Warhammer fan, but I'm a filthy Tau player, so I'll be the first to admit my faults.
No, no,
Um,
no. I have a Tau army, unprimed, unpainted, and I'm, I will. So you're not a filthy Tau player. You're a proud Tau player, sir.
but I will be I started painting there, and then from there, I had more and more buddies reach out to me to help me with their miniatures because being in the service, majority of us are all just brute meatheads with no docile touch to save our lives.
Oh, I forgot to grab a paper towel. Oh, what am I doing with my life? Be right back.
Uh, yeah, started that, and then from there, I ended up painting more and more figures. And before I knew it, I was actually getting paid to paint figures for people and stuff like that. It just kept going from there. So,
Painting without paper towels. What was I thinking? All right, but continue.
but yeah, throughout the years, I would paint different things and stuff like that. And then after a while, I had a buddy of mine come up to me and he's like, "Hey, can you paint a mini for me?" And I'm just like, "Just a single one? Is it like a tank or something?" Because I was doing Warhammer stuff. And he's like, "No, it's actually this." And he hands me my very first D&D mini that I've ever seen. And I'm just like, "What race is this?" And he's like, "No, it's not Warhammer, dude." And he was like, "It's for D&D." I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Dungeons and Dragons." I'm like, "Oh, okay, they have miniatures too?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay." And he gave me a basic color scheme, and I painted there. And then from there, I started looking into more D&D stuff, and been in love with the whole thing ever since.
Right on. See what the next part of this guy I want to work on. I could paint this. It's the same color. What else could I work on this guy? Work on the headpiece. No, I'll do that later. Staff. No. Let me do. I'm just finish painting that. I need a smaller brush. Okay. Whew. All right. Well, no, I could use the same brush I had for that, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah. Overthinking it. Back to this one. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Stream faux pas. I forgot to edit the stream title and everything. So if you think it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, technically it is, because I'm doing minis, painting for Dungeons and Dragons. Man, should have changed that. Wonder if I can do it on the fly. Wonder if I can do it on the fly.
You should be able to edit your title.
Mm-hmm. Do painting. All right, painting. We have art, creative, beauty and body art, food and drink, Marcus crafting, music. Come on, come on.
Hopefully, I can do a body art stream in the future. Something I look forward to. I actually painted one of your coworkers for a con a while back ago.
Yeah, Kratos. I saw that. It was good stuff.
Which that whole situation was just insane. I get a message saying, "Hey, can you help a friend out?" And I'm just like, "Who needs help?" And they're like, "Oh, well, he needs to be painted." I'm like, "What do you mean he needs to be painted?" And it's because one of my pet peeves as an artist is when other artists make artists look bad. And so this guy had already planned a year in advance to be painted to look like Kratos for a costume that he already had set up. He just needed the body paint, so the white and the actual red pattern. That's all he needed. Um, that artist proceeded to ghost him after setting up a year in advance. 2 months before the event, just completely stopped talking to this person. And so he was left in the bind, and because I had time on my hands, I was able to get him con ready in a few hours. But it was, as an artist, don't do that. Please don't. It sucks being the person who gets left out, but two, it makes all of us look bad when we're trying to get like our commissions and stuff, and we're saying, "Hey, this is my prices," and people ask, "Well, why are your prices like this?" It's because we certify our experience.
I just hate that he got ghosted. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Another one.
But it looked great. He took videos of himself and everything, and it looked
Oh
solid.
yeah, people were super happy with it, which is funny because I got all that taken care of. I think in like 3 hours, like last minute, 3 hours right before the convention started. The only reason why it took so long is my cat kept trying to steal my brushes.
So what you're saying is, if you get a paint, you should be a dog person.
No, find ways to distract your cat. That's what you have to do.
Cats just know when you need to be focused on something, whether it's paint or a computer keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Like, I want to lounge there now.
That's why my keyboard is actually on a drawer. So if the cat comes in and lays down, it lays down on this pane of glass, and my keyboard is untouched, undisturbed.
For this to dry a little bit. Come on, dry. Put you down there. Now I gotta flip this thing over without touching it. There we go. I gotta let that dry. Can't keep painting that one.
I'll call this egg Prince because of all the shades of purple I'm using.
Bye, Stardust. Have a good night.
Bye bye.
This should be about dry. Excellent. It's dry. All the little nooks and crannies of this piece. Yeah. I don't know about the black primer now in this one. It's making it more difficult to get a good coat.
Yeah, I've tried using different color primers and stuff, but I always seem to fall back to that very pale gray primer for everything.
I think my paint might be maybe a little too watered down.
It might be. You may just need to do another coat.
Yeah, I'm doing another coat right now with a thinner brush because I got a lot of little nooks to do. A lot of little nooks to do. This piece, basically, what this piece is bone,
Mm-hmm.
and man, the black primer is really. I think I just watered down my paint too much. That's probably all I did. So I'm gonna just add some more paint to this, thicken it up a little bit. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. That's much better. Yeah, that's what it was. No, watered it down a little too much. It's looking much better now. I've been meaning to work on this guy for a while too.
Well, there you go. Get to work on something you've been wanting to for a while. Get to chill back and enjoy painting.
Yeah, painting is relaxing. I mean, it's funny because with the pandemic, you would think there's not really much, you know, unless you just want it for your own personal display case or satisfaction. But there's not really in-person D&D games happening right now. So a lot of people are using the virtual solution for miniatures like tokens or whatnot. But me, I like my minis. I still post my minis using my little camera setup. Because damn it, I invested money in these things. I'm going to use them.
Well, even when I host my sessions with my guys and stuff like that, one of the things I always end up doing is I always if it's a mini that I have painted already and stuff like that, I will take pictures of it and stuff like that and send it to them. Like, this is what you're fighting.
See, that's smart. That's good. And you still use the minis.
Yep. Because if I'm gonna take my time and paint and stuff, it's not just wanting to use them. It's just wanting my people at my table to be like, "Oh crap, that looks scary," or "I don't want to deal with that," or "This is gonna be awesome." Stuff like that.
And something about having like a three-dimensional object on the table that's so much larger than your own little three-dimensional player character that kind of sets the tone of what kind of a fight this is going to be. That's just something about that that can't be replaced by a digital token. It just can't. Not saying digital tokens are bad. It's just I'm definitely I definitely enjoy actual physical miniatures more.
You enjoy seeing the fear in people's eyes. That's what it is.
I mean, yeah.
As any good DM should. But yes. that is the one thing all DMs can agree upon. When you've been painstakingly planning and planning and planning for a specific event to happen in your campaign, and it finally gets there, and you get to reveal this creature that you've been holding and hiding in secret for such a long time, and then you get to sit there and just have your party go, "What the hell is that?"
When did you buy that? Why did you buy that? I thought we were friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why do I have to? No, 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 no. Like, if they don't send you a Christmas card because you ended up shoving this weird dragon down their faces and killed half the party, you understand why, but at least you earned it.
Yep. It's like, you did your job. Yeah, definitely had to do a second coat on this thing. Come on. There we go. There we go.
But yeah, dude, that fight was intense.
Yeah, it is. Whew.
I was not expecting half of that stuff to end the way it did.
Glad you enjoyed. Because at 16th level, it's hard to challenge you guys. So you gotta fight some pretty big beasties.
Hmm.
Some pretty rough customers. Because to challenge you guys in combat, it's rough. Because you're just a good party in general. But then you 16th level players, man, it's hard to manage high level play in fifth edition. I don't want, well, maybe hard's not the right word. It's challenging. Definitely.
Well, fifth edition has made it a little, like, I wouldn't say easier, but they've made it more open for more people to understand the basic rule sets and how everything works out. And you're not doing like multiple checks for everything and stuff, so it's made it a little bit easier in that aspect. Where I think in the older editions, that's what gave it a little more complexity and a little bit more difficulty. Was those days where you're like, hey, you have to do a check for this, a check for this, a check for this, and you're just like, dude, I just want to open the door.
Oh, is that what? Then you want to do these several checks.
Yeah.
There we go. Looks
And
good.
you didn't end up with places filled with falling rocks every 4 seconds.
I dropped rocks on my players once. It was part of the story, though. They were supposed to go down. But something unfortunate happened during the falling of rocks that I feel
Uh-oh.
bad for to this day.
Hey, the dice don't lie, though, right?
The dice don't lie. I didn't thematically pull a punch fast enough because they weren't supposed to die. They were just supposed to be taken out. And then it's a story element thingy.
Something happened that went a little bit sideways.
Yeah, something went sideways. Something definitely went sideways. And I regret how I ran that to this day. My players got it, and it definitely added fuel to a thing I was trying to fuel. So I had that result. I wish I handled it a little better. That's the thing about being a DM. You learn from your mistakes. And much like painting, do not be afraid to DM. What I noticed is there's a lot of players out there that wouldn't be players were it not for someone to step up and put on the DM hat and be a DM. That's the biggest barrier to D&D, I think.
Oh,
Someone or players or individuals being too scared to be the DM. You don't have to memorize the rules. You don't have to make the right call every time. Just do the best you can, and you too can be a DM. And you might even catch the DM bug like I did. I am a forever DM, but I enjoy it. I enjoy DMing so much. I encourage everyone. If you have a group of players, if you have a group of friends who need someone to be courageous, be that person. Okay, I think this is good enough. Switch back to this one. I am so slow at painting. Oh my god.
it's okay. Everyone has their own process and their own timing.
I don't know how I painted that dragon in like 2.5 hours. That was
That dragon did come out awesome though.
For 2.5 hours. Yeah, it was I'm shocked. To be quite honest, I am just shocked that that came from my hand. Some more paint on here. Touch of water, just a touch, because I think that's getting a little too clumpy. All right.
That's why I actually picked up DMing a bunch of my buddies that I started with. Buddy of mine was interested in D&D. He'd never played before, and so I told him the rules and stuff like that and how everything worked. He's like, "Oh, that's really awesome. I would actually like to play." And I was like, "Well, if we can get a group of people together, I'll DM." And we found out another buddy we served with actually has played D&D for a while now.
Nice.
And then we ended up getting another guy that I served with who was a brand new player as well. So we had two new players, one person who had some he played through one whole campaign, so he had some experience, and we had another guy who's played through like 5 or 6 different campaigns over his lifetime so far. So he's he's been around the block. So we have a good mix.
It's good. Nice. You play online with you use Discord or what do you use?
Yeah, I use Discord for my guys, and what I end up actually doing is with Discord, I actually share my screen because I actually have Photoshop and I have files, and I actually just create and draw battle maps on the fly if needed and stuff like that, depending
Okay.
on what the situation is. And we all see it, we all communicate with each other and stuff, so it's pretty fun.
Cool. Yikes. Oh my gosh. I have to get to a little more. I gotta be a little more careful about painting this piece. Let's see, where does the bone meet the photo there? Okay. Okay. I see it. Careful. I was painting something that only had the one color, so it was easy. Just slap it on there. This one, gotta get the edges. I think I'm doing alright. I think I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Alright. There we go.
Now, while that ends up taking a little bit to dry, I'm gonna let this go because I have to go wake someone up.
Oh, right on.
Yep, I'll be right back.
Cool. In the meantime, I'll regale everyone with tales of my D&D campaign. So I'm running three adventuring parties at the same time. They're all sharing the same overarching story. What one group does affects the other group, and that leads to some fun shenanigans. Let me tell you, they are working towards a common goal. They're working more in tandem than they were before. Before they kind of knew of each other, but now they are directly working with each other. I took one group through Lost Mine of Phandelver, the Rise of no, A Horde of the Dragon Queen, and then the Rise of Tiamat. Another group I took through Out of the Abyss, and then careful, and then the last group I took through Curse of Strahd. Well, I say the last group, but they were actually the first group that formed in this whole trilogy. They played Curse of Strahd, and then did I color this wrong? No, that's fine. Curse of Strahd, and then I took them into a full-on homebrew campaign where they were against the cult of Vecna, and Vecna himself, where they banished him because they needed him out of the way. Because being the demigod of secrets, it was tough to, you know, get stuff done for the good guys. So they banished him permanently to another plane of existence where he can't escape from. That plane of existence is called Exandria. They're fine. It's fine. It's okay. So I kind of made that kid into my game, and it was kind of funny. When the players heard where he went, it's like, what? Wait, what? For those who know Critical Role, I should say. Oh, that was a fun little extra, little twist. Like, so we're the reason that he's there? Like, I mean, in my campaign world. I do not have a steady hand. My hand is meant for painting miniatures, barely, and definitely not to be any kind of a surgeon. But again, don't let it get you
I'm
down.
back.
Hey, welcome back. And so that, everyone, is the meaning of life. So, Mr. Rel,
I gave him that one.
Casually talking to you.
Okay.
Just talking about life secrets, that's all.
The good stuff. Got it. We're going to do another layer of all these colors. Want them to show up really nice and deep. After I paint all of these layers and I do the fading in between, I have to put a clear coat on this to protect it.
Oof. Getting into the smaller detail work here is nerve-wracking. Gosh. When I see like the professional painters for miniatures on YouTube, when I see the work of theirs, some of them on Instagram, like it's amazing. It's inspiring, but also it's it also it encourages but frightens me at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense.
Thinking about the minis I'm painting, it's like
I think there always comes a point in time every time I end up painting where I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this. But then the artist in me looks and goes, let's see who else has painted this. And I look and I'm just like, why did I do this to myself? I suck, I'm horrible, I never want to do this again. Then a few days later, I'm off to get more paint and minis and going, why am I doing this to myself?
Because we have too many primed minis that need paint.
Yes.
Yes. Fall to the trap. I have an addiction, and it is miniatures. And I could quit whenever I want. I just don't want. Oh, but that Sapphire Dragon miniature, holy crap. So beautiful.
Yeah.
So amazing. It is, in my opinion, the best dragon miniature they've created. Those wings are so dynamic and gorgeous. If anyone out there hasn't seen the Sapphire Dragon from WizKids for D&D, holy crap. Just go to your local comic shop. They probably have it on display because that thing is just beautiful. If you watched my stream earlier from the one we just did before this one, the match, the map that the players are fighting on against the one little dragon, is about as large as the wingspan of the dragon, the sapphire dragon itself. That thing is matte. I'm looking at it right now. It's sitting on one of my display cases, and holy crap, it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. I feel like this needs a little more. Like I missed some spots. God, this black primer, man. The black is peeking through here and there, and it just
Yeah, it's a lot harder to cover up a dark color than it is a light color. So with primers, it is definitely one you want to be really careful about.
Yeah, I'm learning that now. Usually I had the gray, but holy crap! Like I see like little spots of the black primer here and there, and go back in there, touch it up. Technically, I mean, I don't do display quality. I just do tabletop ready. I'm not like a major. Oh my gosh! Ah, that was wet. What am I doing? Holy crap! I thought that was dry. But anyway, I see some of the detail on some of the minis on Instagram and whatnot. I just love looking at it. It is, but oh man, I don't know if I'll ever get to that quality because I don't know if I have that much time. So I just go for you know to put per miniature. So I just go for table ready and get right in there. There we go. And I think I do okay with that. Oh, really? Are you still? What? Dang it. But I just gotta like paint one and move on to the next one, which is really good advice for anyone when you're painting. You could really get lost in one miniature, but once it's done, and move on to the next one. Unless you have control of yourself and you're able to control how many primed minis you buy, then maybe go back and work on some of them. I don't have that much control. I have too many primed minis. I have a problem. So much like this red dragon that I did, I have some things I still would like to do to it, but then I think to myself, no, just finish the base and you're done. Move on. Because if I spend like another 30, 40, or an hour touching up that one, I got to think about, well, what could I have done with that hour on another mini? I got to work through my backlog. All right, let's see here. Looking at my box, it's off camera. It's right here. What else could I do in this color? There's that. Wow, this is a little bit. Well, let me actually finish this skull. Because again, black primer's peeking through. I guess I gotta just go thicker on the paint, which I'm still learning to balance. I don't like to go too thick on the paint. I'd rather do extra coats. Because if the paint gets too thick, it looks not as good. But the black primer is frustrating me enough where I kind of need to cake it on, or want to. I shouldn't cake on paint. You don't want to do that, but don't. Come on. Freaking Butterfingers over here. I keep almost dropping this thing. Okay, get that little peak right there. There we go. I can't wait until this one that I'm working on is done. This is a Warhammer piece. I'm not saying from where. I just know it's beautiful and it's going to be wonderful in my D&D campaign once I finish painting it, which will be sometime this year. I hope. Because, you know, 2020 is everyone's year, right? Right? Okay, there we go. That's good for that. It's good. Oh no, it's not. How did I miss that? I like put it down like I'm done, and I see this one glaring spot. It's like, how did I think I was done? possessed me. All right.
A beholder.
Yeah, they can cast that dominate. Yeah. Yes. There we go. There we go. Paint your pearly whites. There we go. God, that black primer is still kind of peeking through. Should not have gone with black primer. I see a lot of people going with black primer though, on like minis online. It seems to work well for them, but then again, they know what they're doing and I don't. So that's the one stark difference between me and them.
Right, but practice makes perfect. Like what you look at now and go, I should have done it this way. You now get to change and go, now I know what not to do versus what I can apply to something else and possibly get a better result on something else versus what I was currently doing.
I should paint the body on this guy. I already started with the purple. Okay. Hot cocoa is officially done. Okay. Do the other pauldron.
Okay.
What color is that? Like a bluish. What color is that on there? It's time to close
Not
this
as
up.
dark as I wanted it.
All right. I guess I'll paint the body. Gosh. Darn it. I was dreading this part. Let me turn the box here. Better look at them. All right. I'm going to have to go with a thin brush on some of this. Holy crap. Yeah, okay. Side there. What is that? Do a better shot on this? Can I? Huh? No? Oh, no, there it is. Really? That's that color? Wait, I gotta make it look like that? Oh. Okay. I don't agree with that decision. Okay. This is gold. Right? Right? Okay.
Trying to get some of the excess moisture out of this because I put a little too much water in this.
Sure, it keeps its point. Gonna go for a thinner brush. And hit up some of these smaller details. Man, it's gonna be rough. Actually, no, I don't need to go with a smaller brush. Then I could. Oh, wait a minute. That's stitching. Son of
There we go.
crap. Bring this a little closer.
Having some technical difficulties over there.
Just really frightened and going to the next step in this thing. Trying to see where I'm gonna start. Not a whole lot of guidance from the box. There, you can show me here. That's obscured. I'm just gonna have to wing it. All right, we'll do it live. That's gonna be that bone color, so that's what we'll do. I guess I'm gonna need this back. Oh, I said I was gonna be playing music when I was doing this. So music from Tabletop Audio. Let's see. Here we go.
This little band here. No. This brush to the side.
TabletopAudio.com is a place I go to for all my D&D music. It has a lot of sound effects, background music, ambiance. This one is called Wuxia Tea House, so it has like an Asian theme to it. Like, I don't know, like based on the illustrations they use, it's Chinese, I'm guessing. Because it looks Chinese style artwork on the front. Okay, here we go. And painting is supposed to be relaxing, is it not? So I think that music is appropriate. Should I have gone to a thinner brush? I don't know. So frightening getting the color on this guy. Oh my god. You just gotta bite the bullet, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotta rip the band-aid off.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, okay. Bad, bad. Haven't destroyed this mini yet. Yeah, black primer. I don't think I'm... It's annoying me more than anything else. And I know you can work with black primer because a lot of people do it. I know I just did it wrong. But you know what? That's okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Set this brush to the side.
Ah, I got paint on the spot I didn't... Screw it! That's fine. That's exactly what I wanted to do. That's where I wanted that paint. OCD. Hurting me so much. God. It's okay. And I kept talking about, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and here I am. Panic mode because I got paint in the spot I don't want to. Ah, screw it. There. No, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. It's supposed to be that color. It's fine. We're fine. It's good. Again, if you're just tuning in, I see we have 5 viewers. The music you hear is from Tabletop Audio. Whenever I run my Dungeons and Dragons games, I use them for all my sound effects and background music. The guy is great. Everything is free, unless if you know, free for home use, but for commercial use, like big time commercial use, he will have, you know, licensing and everything, which I think is This guy's stuff is great. But for most people, you're gonna have it for your home game, and it's perfect for that. And I can't recommend this website, Tabletop Audio, enough for your D&D games. I know there's another one, Strinscape, that looks pretty good, but I heard about Tabletop Audio first, so you started using it, and I stuck with it, and I'm happy with it. I think it works very, very well for my games, especially when I use the Wilhelm scream. That's key. That's very important in any D&D game. Have a good
Oh, yeah.
Wilhelm scream sound effect. Did that edge just carefully. There we go. So you mentioned those games that you were playing with your crew, the ones you're DMing?
Yes.
So what games are they playing right now?
I have them going through Out of the Abyss, but there's going to be a little trick to it. I'm gonna hopefully they make the right decisions. I'm letting them do this on their own accord. I'm not gonna force them into anything. But I want them to get Eldeth back home first. And if they manage to get her home first, I want them to meet the Rock Seekers and go through a little extended version of the Mines of Fandalin.
Ooh,
and then they're gonna, yeah, and so it'll help them get to at least level 5. So that way, once they complete that, then I can have them go back into the Abyss and not have to worry about it as much as them getting wrecked hardcore. Like the person who's been tracking them has finally got hold of where they are, and the dwarves need help in the Underdark again, which will get them to circle back and go through that way. Because the very beginning of Out of the Abyss is not too kind.
It is very much survival. You have nothing on you.
Yep. So if I can give them stuff to basically get them set up with a base of operations, and they're like, oh yeah, the person that we helped before, they need our help again. It'll help kind of bring everything full sway. But they always can decide to not go back that way right away and go this helps the Myconid or something. Life changes.
So how's the Drop Pursuit going to work out with that?
Or
you're not using the Drop Pursuit?
I am using the Drow Pursuit, but in certain ways. Like, if they're in the Underdark, the Drow are going to be on them. Like, it's going to be non-stop if they're in the Underdark. They're going to have to deal with it. When they get surface side, there's going to constantly be things of paid mercenaries and stuff like that, which will help me kind of bring the Red Brand guys in a little bit. Like, what if they were getting paid on the backside to help try to get rid of you or capture you and bring you back? And so it lets me interchange both stories and kind of weave them together into making this own little world.
Here's a Phandelver, Lost Mine of Phandelver spoiler, so if you don't want that spoiled for you, cover your ears right now for like the next minute. That segues well, because the main antagonist, the Black Spider, is a Drow. So there is that. Okay, spoilers done. So it does segue relatively well with that, actually.
I know that's what got me thinking, like, okay, so if we have this and we have a bunch of new like half the party is new players. So instead of throwing them to the wolves, give them a little bit, see how they feel. And at the end of Fandalin, if they want to continue adventuring, I could keep the party going and hopefully have 2+ years worth of stuff that I can mess with them with in the Underdark. So it's an ebb and flow. I definitely had to sit down with my paladin and explain to him what a paladin was, and how there are certain things you should not say if you want to keep the power of the god that you are on your side.
Yeah, why is it? I'm a paladin of Bahamut. I believe in justice. But I'm gonna, rob some farmhouses right now. It's like, oh, well.
No, it wasn't that. It was he's a dragonborn.
Okay.
He's lawful good, and he didn't understand that because the first sentence out of his mouth in the campaign, when he met the drow madam that kind of runs the little prison camp in the Underdark,
Mm-hmm.
his first lines out of her was, "When are you gonna let me hit that?"
Oh boy.
And her lover proceeded to shoot him with a paralyzing bolt, as per usual.
That's like,
And I had to be like, "Hey, that's not something your person would really say." And he goes, "Because my buddy, I love him to death, Frankie. I love him to death, but he says what's on his mind very accordingly. And when he said he wanted to play a paladin, I was like, ooh, are you sure?"
you can still play a paladin. Just, a paladin that is not very good following the rules. And the god is like, oh, you. And he's constantly kind of having to correct him.
Oh no, yeah, I kind of after sitting down said, "Hey, if you want to go this route, you can go this route, but there may be stuff that kind of go awry every once in a while. That's something you may need to take into consideration because your god may get pissed at you. But I'll play it as you want to play it, bro." And after he actually took the time to learn about like the alignment charts and like how,
Yeah, alignment's kind of weird anyway, but yeah.
yeah, but like being able to sit there and go, okay, so my my class is supposed to be this like actual like really good guy that kind of follows the law a little too strictly, and he's like, and now when he RPs it like it's like he's almost like Gorn.
Nice.
So he is a devout follower. He goes by the rules and his laws and stuff like that. So if anyone tries to do something shady, like our rogue in the group, he's usually the first one to have something to say it against it.
We could also play, like, there are paladins who aren't all good, too. There's more flexibility. Back in the day, I remember 2nd edition paladins, you had to play virtuously. Not every race could be a paladin. Like, there were no such thing as elven paladins. It's much more restricted as to how you could roleplay based on the expectation. But 5e is just so fluid now. You can just do so much with it. They give a lot of leeway. They give you a framework and you take it from there. For the most part. I mean, I still like some things to be within canon, like how dragons look and things and such. But I hate this black primer. I did such a bad job. I just at least getting this layer of paint on here.
No, you're good. But no, it's just and I told them to like if you whatever way you want to play it, by all means, I'll go with it. We'll work it. We'll keep going the way you want. But he really wants to play a holier than thou paladin.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay. There you go.
like you need to separate what you would say versus what your character would say, because I know what you would say, and what you would say will possibly get you shook half the time.
So yeah, if he wants to go holier than thou paladin, maybe not say that to the drow priestess lady.
Yeah. And he's been picking up on that, which is really fun. And so we have the Dragonborn Paladin, we have the Tiefling Rogue, which is my buddy who's played a little bit, so he has some experience. And then my other new player, he's playing Air Element Ganassi Bard.
Ah.
And then we have
No.
yeah. And then we also have our other character who's actually really, really experienced, and he's playing a rock gnome. So, and he's a wizard, so he's the little glass cannon of the group. So it's good. The team is building up, and I told him, like, look, you guys don't like, you guys are adventurers. Like, you guys were all brought in from different walks of life and held captive here. You guys can help each other. You guys can not help each other. Like how you guys want to play it is completely up to you. And they're like, okay, so like there's been moments where the bard went to use the thunderclap ability, not remembering that it's an AoE ability. So he clapped and he hurt the paladin on accident.
Still friends?
Yeah. There was one really cool thing of teamwork where the paladin was drawing aggro from one of the drow hunting parties, and our rogue, he rolled extremely high on a stealth check and was able to come out of the shadows from behind the paladin to stab the drow in the face, which was amazing RP. The way he played it out, and really bad rolls for me, but as the DM. And going, he should be able to see you hiding behind the Dragonborn. Nope.
Guess not. Alright, stab his face.
Yep, sneak attack, it was rough. I was like, ooh, that hurt him. Okay, very well.
So, we know that dropped flank to flank.
Oh yeah. So they were able to definitely get out. But there's also a creature in the Underdark that they don't know whether it's good or bad. And it's the Remoraz I talked about earlier.
Oh, right. Yeah, you were bringing it as a recurring. That unique one.
Yeah. Yep. So, Steve the Remoraz shows up every once in a while. But Steve is the reason why they actually got out of the prison. Because I was trying to do other things to try to get them to, like, get to the point where they escape and stuff. But it was really bad rolls. And I'm just like, guys, I want you free. But, I got to a point where I was like, I have I forgot what dice set it's from, but there's a dice set that comes with one of those big D10s that have like different elements on it. It's for one of the bosses. Like you roll it and whatever it lands on is the ability he's or what element the ability is. But I changed it to where all those symbols mean different things that may happen while in the Underdark.
Okay.
And one of them was Steve showing up. And I rolled and Steve showed up. And Steve attacked the crystal that was preventing them from using magical abilities while they were in shackles. And, of course, me being the DM, Steve decides to roll a nat 20 when attacking it, completely destroys this thing. Not fizzes it out a little bit, no, completely just shreks this thing, causes it to cause a partial collapse, which threw everything into a tizzy.
Praise
so
be
that
to
was...
Steve.
Yes, praise be to Steve. And that's what got them to get that opening, like, okay, we can get out of here. Let's get out of here. And that's what opened everything up for them. Which, in the long run, I was really happy about. I was like, yay, they're free. But in the back end, I'm like, out of all the ways I try to get them to either figure it out a way to escape or try to have something else happen, it wouldn't work. But Steve, yep, Steve.
Zeus X Steve Machina.
Yes. Steve was the MacGuffin. But yeah, it definitely came out really fun. So now they're in the middle of the Underdark, running away from Drow chasing them and stuff like that, and they're trying to make their way with Eldeth back home, and we'll see if they get there.
Who else did they take of the prisoners? 'Cause I know it could be a combination of things. Is it just Eldith they have with them, or?
They have Eldeth with them. They had the PC, the DM PC that I made to make sure they stayed alive, because I made a cleric just to keep them alive.
Okay.
Until they got free, and so now he's Bamf. If he comes again, we'll never know. But I love that being a little loophole that I have, just for other stuff. Like, is he gonna come back good? He's gonna come back bad? I don't know. We'll find out. But or is he the BPEG? We'll never know.
Why did you cast cause wounds?
Exactly. But it's either doing something like that, and then so he's gone. He left. But there's also the little Myconid.
Oh, yeah, I forgot his name. Rumpadump or something.
Well, they call him Happy.
Aw.
My group calls him Happy, so he's happy. So he's with he's with them now, and Eldeth is actually carrying Happy on her back because the cleric gave her like his chainmail hood, and so she has the hood down, and the little Myconid is sitting in the hood on her back.
Nice. So she's the Luke Skywalker to his Yoda.
Yep, exactly. But all the people can speak to it, so the way I flavored it was it released spores that they ended up inhaling that got them to communicate to each other and stuff like that.
Rapport spores.
And yeah, but I also had it be a thing where it prevents the bad spores from affecting them. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Happy is like is a MacGuffin without being a MacGuffin.
He's a mushroom antibiotic. Kind of.
Exactly. He's releasing counter spores. So it's helped them through all that, and so I have Myconids that I've already started painting that they're going to have to run into eventually if they decide to make a different turn.
In my campaign, one of the players bit it to those spores. So those spores can kill you if you don't do anything about it. They eventually made it all the way to Zugtamoy in one part, and they were still spore ridden. So the final stages of the mutation that the spores caused took that player. And the thing is, I wonder when that plays. Because these weird acting Myconids, not acting the way Myconids should, being strange, and they're like, yeah, we don't really trust them. And then all of a sudden, would you like the gift? Oh, okay, sure, give me the gift though. And it was the spores.
That's on that player then.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay.
In D&D, you should never accept random free stuff unless you know you did something very, very good beforehand.
Why did you accept the happy shrooms? Anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's
The biggest of oofs. Oh, there was our my air genasi bard was like, oh, I'm air element, I should totally be able to just fly, right? And that's not how that works, bro. And he almost jumped off a cliff in the Underdark.
But that's okay.
He's like, but I'm air element. I was like, yes, you're air element, but there's caveats to this.
Doesn't mean you fly up that. Read the racial sheet thingies and abilities.
Like, you are level 3. There's nowhere in the description that says level 3 you can fly. Like, it's one of the few times as a DM where I was like, no, don't do that. Just don't do that.
He almost keyless goldfished it for another critical roller.
Yeah, he almost goldfished it super hard. Because he definitely would not have liked what was waiting for them at the bottom of that cliff if he would have jumped off.
Who was at the bottom? Steve?
No, not Steve. No. It was a drow party with spiders that was hunting for them, but because they took a different route, they were able to circumvent them because they had some really good rolls on understanding tracking and stuff. I was like, okay, so you would know from by seeing all this that you shouldn't take this route because you're gonna run into people and have a bad day.
Cool. Can I jump down anyway? I can fly. And then.
Yeah. Like, you about to learn the hard way. Now I can save you.
Like you gonna learn.
That is funny, but this is also the same player that during C2E2 we got to do the Adventures League that they had there.
I'm always curious to try it. It's very fast paced from what I understand. Very busy.
It is. It really is. But it was fun.
I like that. I like role play, take my time and stuff. But you know, to each his own.
Well, it was one of the things like, we're here. Let's have fun. And so we ended up making brothers. We both came from the same temple. I was a barbarian. He was a monk, though. And so the whole dynamic of it was like, he was a dirty monk, and that was the brother who was just a muscle that would muscle him down to keep him straight from doing stupid stuff. So it was fun having that back and forth with him.
That reminded me of a thing I did in a game. Me and Will Plez, the other Will. I have a lot of Will friends in my life, but Will Plez, we made brothers. They were half brothers. He had a half elf and I had a half orc. They were half brothers. Dad got around.
Well, with us, we were from the same temple, but we were both orphans that were just found, and we were kept. So we're brothers in a sense, but not like that. But that just is funny. Like, yeah, our dad put out, so we're here. There was a moment in our Adventures Lake thing. We were trying to solve a murder, and was like, "Oh yeah, you want to go speak to like this guy just died 2 days ago, so we have to go speak to his now widow, right? His wife."
Okay.
And my buddy, being the dirty monk and in character, he looks at our DM at the time, and he looks at him and he goes, "So what you're saying is she's single?" And everyone at the table, half the table was like, we're like the lawful good guys. They were like, because we had like a paladin and a fighter who were like connected through something, and then we had like this wizard who was senile old man, which was great. He's pretty much Grandpa Lich before Grandpa Lich lost his flesh. he was like the senile moment in between. So he completely was like, "I like the way he thinks," and I'm just like, "No." And then he sits there and he looks at me. He's like, "But come on."
Are you sure you're not a bard?
Yeah, I was like, "You're a bard in my campaign, not here." He's like, "I know, but this fits my monk so well." And I was like, "I know, and I hate you for it." So there came a point in time through all of it where I looked at the DM and I was like, he said something to the lady as they were trying to ask her questions. Like the DM, I was like, "I'm just gonna grab my brother and take him outside." And the DM's like, "Do you resist it?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" He wasn't even paying attention. I was like, "I take him outside." And we got to just RP me, like, pretty much putting him in a headlock, going, "Stop it. Stop it. Stop it."
Can't take you anywhere.
Exactly. You're the reason why we can't have nice things. One thing I love about D&D, you can have random moments like that at any given time. Or you can goldfish and jump off of a cliff.
Still remember that moment. Critical role. It's like, wait a minute, what? This is bad? Why can't I do that? It's like, no, you don't understand. Terminal velocity is a thing.
And it's not a cliff that goes straight down, it's an angle. Now when she said that she jumped off, I was like, oh, no. And then she turns into a goldfish. Of all things she could turn into, goldfish.
But they lean into it. That's the thing I love about them too. Because they'll make mistakes like that, or stuff will happen, and they'll lean into it. They're like, alright, that's the thing. I made that choice. Let's live with it.
Or how Scanlan's character was a Triceratops wrecking through a mansion.
I like how they did the whole drug angle. That was hilarious. Where's the meat?
No, that was freaking funny. No, that's definitely just seeing how they interact with each other and how they like play off each other in such a way that's just like they're so in tune, which is so freaking fun. and to see that like back and forth between the characters, like you can tell like they've been around each other for a long time, not even as like playing D&D, but just in life.
Painting purple stuff in this guy's armor. Oops. Oh, dang it. Got a little too slapdash. That's fine. It's okay. It's fine. Happy mistakes. Happy mistakes. Happy little tricks. We're okay. That's good. And for those who are just tuning in, this is Tabletop Audio Music. Tabletopaudio.com. Amazing music for your home tabletop games, sound effects, music like this. He has a Patreon, this guy, where you get even more music. And I encourage you guys to definitely do it. If you ever wanted to do a Patreon for anyone, if you enjoy this music, I can't recommend this one enough. And this guy is amazing. He does great stuff. And all artists deserve to be rewarded for their hard work. Just saying.
Very true. Very true. Did you remember to roll your perception check?
Need a thinner brush for his arm. As slapdash as this paint is, slapdash paint is still better than no paint. I'm happy.
Very true.
It's gonna be rough. these little nooks and crannies, man. Like holding my breath as I put the brush to it. Oh my gosh. These little grooves. Like a sniper. Holding your breath as you take the shot. Just holding my breath. The pain really narrow. Whew. Everything is fine. Everything's okay. Everything's
Nothing's on fire. Everything's fine. Go back to your regular scheduled program.
okay. So this tiny little arm right here, all the little nooks. He has, you can't tell, you kind of tell right there that those ridges, those armored ridges, have these little details on them that I don't want to get purple on anything onto. It's hard. An old man with bad eyes. Lighting down here. Oh, managing to pull it off. Much trouble as I was having with the black primer. Hide your mistakes. And I see that. Some nooks and crannies. Okay. Whew. I think that all the things that need to be purple are done. There's nothing. Is that it? No, it's one. Okay. Whew. Alright, that part's done. I'm going to worry about the fine detail after I glue this guy together. Right now, I just. I'm just having to think. What next? 'Cause this guy has a lot of parts, man. I mean, I'm like looking at. Oh, that's too big. Like parts like this, I still have to paint and then glue. Okay, well, good for you. Right on. The primer. I think. Let's see, I have a can of white primer over here somewhere, but I think they have like brown and different color primers too to help give you a base coat. I know someone mentioned that doing black primer on towel, if you're gonna paint them white, is good because like the armor itself is white, but the cloth underneath or whatever leather or whatever they wear underneath their armor is black. So it helps to do a black primer in that case.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this hand. Oh, the hand is purple. I didn't finish with the purple after all. I messed up. I gotta keep going. Pull that brush back out. track is called Halfling Festival. Again, tabletopaudio.com. Great little website. Play music, play Dungeons and Dragons games, or Pathfinder games, or any tabletop RPG games. Or for when you're painting minis, you need something to fill the background. Tabletop Audio. Not a paid sponsor. I just enjoy them very much.
And lets him set the mood when he's trying to plot on killing the entire party.
You know, as you do. Oh.
Yeah, I need to make Optic and Bellfire minis.
I got a mini that's pretty good for Bellfire. Just gotta, oh, here we go, paint it.
There's a. I want to go onto Hero Forge and custom make him one. Yeah, it's not gonna be like Bashiel's, the all gaudy like that. No, but I'm gonna make one and print it out because they have a little. I think it's like a little bird pet thing that you can put on the mini, and I want to have like a representation of like the crow on him and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need this.
I know there's a Kickstarter for it, but I don't know if it's open to the public yet. Printing painted minis. Is that a thing now you can do on their site, or not yet?
You can do colors. You can select what colors everything comes out in. I think that's available already right now on their website.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool. That's. It probably costs like 25, 30 bucks or 50 bucks for printing a color one. When I think about the amount of time I would save from having to, because I look at my backlog of primed minis that need paint, all of a sudden, for a character that I know I'm really playing for a while, or I have been playing for a while, it becomes worth it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I get my silver. Where did I put it? A good tip for anyone who's going to be getting into miniature painting or paint at all. One thing I recommend doing is if you're ever doing a project and you have to step away from it and not get back to it for quite some time, when you finish, if you know you're not going to finish it, take that miniature, take all the paint colors that you've used, like if you have any of the small little bottles and stuff, just lay them all next to each other and just take a photo. So that way you can see the color names and the miniature you were working on, so at least that way you can retrace some of your steps and be like, okay, I was using these specific colors. Because if you're someone like me, I mix my colors. I mix my own paints. I get my own special spectrums onto all my miniatures and stuff like that. Because I like customizing stuff on my own way. Instead of having to sit there and constantly buy a mountain of different paints to get every individual shade or every individual thing. If that's your thing, go for it. Me, on the other hand, 4 years in college for video game design, color wheels built into my brain now. I have to just do it manually myself.
You're a better person than I am. I can't remember my color wheels. Sorry.
Shining silver. Here we go. Now, a big thing about mixing your paints and stuff like that, or checking to make sure your paints are still good. Metallic ones separate the easiest out of all these little tube paints. No matter what brand you buy, if they sit for a day or two, they will start to separate fairly quickly, and that's because the metallic colored pigments are really heavy. They tend to just divide really quickly. You have to make sure you mix these really, really well before you open it up, because what you're going to end up doing if you don't, you're going to pour it out, and all the good pigment is going to be sitting towards the bottom of the bottle, so you're going to have this oily runoff that's just going to come off out the top, and that's not good for painting at all for anything. So save yourself some money and save yourself some headache. Mix the paint really, really well. Another good tip of advice, not everything needs wash. Keep that in mind. Washes are amazing and what they do is magical, but not everything needs to be magicked.
Duly noted. Wash, wash, wash.
Yeah.
That's part of my cheaty technique, though. Wash, then highlight.
That works. That works for a lot of instances. And by all means, keep rocking that out. If that works for you, you keep doing it. But there will be a creature that you get, and you're gonna paint it, and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna put a wash on it, and then you put the wash on, and you go, why did I do that?
Like, Mr. L was right. What have I done? Got some good washing. Sorry, Ed. I like my washes. I need some in my life.
No, they're amazing. They're amazing. Just like one out of every, like, I would say 40 miniatures you probably paint is gonna not need a wash. It's very, very rare, but it does happen every once in a blue moon where you're like, you know what? I shouldn't have put this, or at least I shouldn't have put this specific wash on it.
tip, you want to control where the wash goes. You just want to take your brush and... So right now I'm dabbing the areas where a little too much wash is built up to kind of pull the wash away. Okay, there. Okay. Whew. Adding some depth to my bone, though. I'll say that right now. Some much needed depth. Just gotta be careful not to use too much of it. On this is just a light touch. Oh, this is looking much better already. Very, very super light wash on this thing. The trick. Whew. I'll be really glad when this one is done. This is a project. I enjoy. This is literally the most complicated piece I've ever attempted to assemble. I can't really say the name because my players might be watching because I'm using it in my game. But I can't wait for the reveal when this guy is done.
Yeah, the relationship between player and DM is a very, very beautiful and amazing one. Because as player, you always are trying to think like, okay, I need to survive this. I need to think of a way to get this to happen, or what do we do to get this going? And usually, players will come up with something that the DM does not plan for, which is a beautiful and amazing thing.
Yes, those are good moments.
Exactly, and that's what gets the players more engaged and stuff like that, and the DM more engaged. Where he goes, I didn't think they would think of that. And then also vice versa, when the players see like the DM does something completely unexpected with a thing that they were planning for like weeks, if not months, of something that they wanted to talk about and do, and all of a sudden the DM gives them a curveball that was just like they sit there and go, we did not expect that. Wait a minute.
That's some good looking bone right here. Okay. Now this one. So I've successfully painted the purple on the pieces that have to be purple. Got the bone done. Very proud of, happy. I don't know about proud, but I'm happy. I got it.
Always be proud. Every time you pick up a brush to paint one of your miniatures, know that you're bringing life to another creature in your world.
Until you guys kill it. But you know.
There's resurrection spells.
Alright, there. Cool. It's done. Whew. It is 3 a.m. now. I think it's probably time to eat another cookie. How?
Yes. I am almost done here myself. Just do a little bit of silver speckling at the bottom of this dragon egg. Definitely show this to you tomorrow during the game. You can see how it came out.
Gotta get the gold trim on this guy's armor.
Oh, really quick, have you seen have you looked at the breakdown for the new species that they released? The Lionels?
Oh, I heard about the Lionels. Yeah.
They're fun. They're another strength con
So
class.
they're definitely they're they have Cappy the Tabaxi they have, right? But the Tabaxi are more the lean, quick, agile, acrobatic.
Yep, and these guys are the big brutes.
Right on.
So you can definitely and the thing is, they don't pick fights, but they are very proud of their skill. So they're really fun to RP.
Don't they come from Magic the Gathering?
Yes.
Very curious to check them out. Actually,
Yeah, I've already started thinking about making one of them. Making one as a character, but have him as an artificer that goes battle master. So you have like the weird robotic pet. So just this weird beastly frontline fighter with a pet that just mauls you.
okay, let's see the races here. Pulling it up for D&D Beyond right now. Let's see, Dragon, Dwarf, Gnome, Elf, Leonins, those guys. Yeah,
Yep.
they're from the mythic Odysseys of Theros. Few details. So you can be a satyr too. Oh no, didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
The Yonengar, the shining lands of Oreskos, a golden plain where even the gods rarely trespass. Prides of these nomadic lion-like humanoids rarely interact with other peoples, having all they need in their shimmering homeland and knowing the treachery of strangers. So a little xenophobic, that's okay. Do as you do. Still, some Leonin wander what lies beyond Oreskos' border mountains and seek to test themselves in the wider world. They are noble and fierce, quick to quarrel, like you said. Pride and self-reliance, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Their traits. Ability score, Constitution, Strength, as you said. So Con goes up by 2 and Strength goes up by 1. They age about the same as humans. They tend to lean toward good alignments.
Yep.
And
So imagine a bunch of lion paladins running at you.
those who are like very focused on their pride lean toward lawful good. Size is typically over 6 feet tall, with some standing over 7 feet. Hot damn. Size is medium. Speed 35 base. Quick.
Mhm.
Slightly quicker, yeah. They have dark vision, as most races tend to have dark vision, apparently. Uh,
Unless you're a human.
because they have claws, they have that standard D4 plus strength mod. Hunter's instincts. You have proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: athletics, intimidation, perception, or survival. Daunting roar. Let's see. As a bonus action, you can let out an especially menacing roar. Creatures of your choice within 10 feet of you that can hear you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the end of your next turn. Ooh. The DC of the save equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus constitution modifier. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. And for those watching at home, the frightened, if you're frightened, that means you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of your fear is within line of sight. And if you have to be within 10 feet of this guy, yeah, they're going to be within line of your sight. And you can't willingly move closer to it. So if you get like surrounded and you roar, you can make a bunch of those guys scared of you. So now you're fighting a bunch of people who are swinging at you only with disadvantage, though. But that's until the end of the next turn. End of your next turn. So you roar, and the end of your next turn, it goes away. But once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Interesting. Someone has made a point. Why isn't there a bite feature? I mean, yeah, I guess I get it. You can bite someone. I probably would rule as the DM do another D4 plus strength for piercing. Why not? I don't want to scratch them. I want to bite them. All right, D4 strength. I'd probably apply the same thing because it makes sense. I mean, looking at the illustrations, these guys have some. They have some chompers, man. They could easily do some damage with that. We're not talking like molars. We're talking like some freaking bestial.
Well, what if they were druids and they used the savage bite?
You know, so
that would be fun. That would be fun just to RP that class or that race.
Yeah, that looks fun. Looks like a fun race. I like it. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to call it. 'Cause I gotta get some sleep. I got a big day tomorrow. I have 2 campaigns to run. I have some grocery shopping to do. I can't wait to finish this. I'm proud with the progress I made. I think in 2 hours, we'll say like an hour and a half. Spend some time screwing around. I painted his armor. I just got to paint around it now. I got the bone here looking pretty good. Really happy with how that came out. Can't wait to highlight it. And then
highlight it with the blood of the dead parties.
There you go.
Yep, I need to let this sit and dry now, and then I'm going to close it up, and then I'm going to clear coat it so it seals all the paint so it doesn't rub off. But yeah, I made a pretty beautiful gradient dragon egg with some silver speckling. Looks pretty nice. I can't complain. I'm pretty happy. Hopefully the little jerk that gets this will be happy with it as well. If not, they ain't getting shit. If an artist takes time to make you something, you enjoy it.
You're right.
If it's elbow macaroni art, you enjoy it.
Alright, time to close my wet palette. But I think that's going to be it for our painting. Will, we have to do this again. It was 2 hours of painting. I am not a professional like you, but I think I still got a lot done in these 2 hours.
For you guys watching on my channel, you can actually see the really pretty gradient that I have going on this. Definitely. Yeah, I'll hold it up so you can check it out.
Okay, jump into your channel so I can see. Oh, holy crap! That's beautiful, man.
So he goes from pink to the light purple to the dark purple, and then has the silver speckling on the bottom.
That is awesome.
Definitely a lot of practice, and if you saw it from the beginning, I literally started with just 4 bands of color on the egg. And then from there, I went into blending and merging the two different colors that we're touching to get a really consistent fade.
That is
So
beautiful.
when it
God.
does take time and practice, but if you can work a process like that, doing gradients is going to be a cakewalk. Start with bands and then mudge everything in between.
So if you look at my channel, I didn't really do much.
Check yours out really quick.
So this guy right here, you can't tell. There's a lot of purple on his armor. So I got all the purple and the banding right there. I got his midsection. And this is horrible light. Let's see. Wonder if I lift the lamp. Huh?
Yes, we love lamp.
I don't know if that's any better. But you can see the highlighting I did in the midsection. It's too much light. I can't do this right. So you get some of the definition. There's some stitching down.
Aw,
in his
dude,
stomach.
that midsection looks nice though.
Thank you. On his back there. But the thing that I really like, and I just banged against the microphone, and I did it again. This bone, I hit it with some. Try to give it more depth. You can't really tell from here.
Yeah. But no, I like seeing all that individual ridge detail. That's awesome, man.
And then this piece, I got the skull done. I hit all the. Let's see, where's the front? There we go. Focus. Focus. No, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna focus. Well, anyway, I still gotta get the headpiece on this done.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's another piece of bone here I did. But a lot of purple and the banding on this guy. Just a lot of it. I still have more to do. Once I finish, the hardest part is gonna be actually painting him, because everything else, these pieces are gonna be pretty easy. These pieces for me, because it's just a gradient, going from like purple to like green, and I'm pretty good with doing those gradients. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just really one tone. But with all the little nuggets of detail on this guy, like the wand and everything I have to do, that's gonna be the pain in my butt. That's what's. Oh, I forgot to paint this thing. This stupid thing. Okay. Well, so many little pieces.
Work in progress, right? Work in progress.
Work in progress. Absolutely. Getting there, little by little, little by little.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. It was awesome. Glad to have you guys enjoy our lovely paint session. And if you have any questions about painting and how to get started, feel free to reach out to me. You can message me in my my DMs here on Twitch or at 312 Gaming on Twitter. I can definitely answer any questions you would like, or if you would like to commission me for art, I am more than available. I've done emotes for this lovely gentleman here as well for the Ruckus, and a few other people I've done some overlay artwork for, so feel free to reach out. Thank you.
And so yeah, and then if you want painting tips, definitely don't message me, because I am learning as well. Mr. L is my mentor, but you could learn by looking at my mistakes and saying, I remember when he did that. I will not do that. And in that way, I am teaching you. But yeah, that'll be it for our stream for today. For our little paint. 2 Dungeons & Dragons games tomorrow. Please do tune in if you like what you saw. If this was relaxing for you, or if you enjoyed painting right along with us, awesome. I'm going to try to do more of these. A lot more. And I think, I hate to say this, I might have to be forced to paint to like be inspired. Like I always say, it's kind of like going to the gym. It's good for you. You buy your membership and like, I'm gonna do this thing, and then you end up not, unless someone pushes you to go. And it's good when you go. When you get a rhythm going, you feel good. Same thing with painting. Sometimes you just need someone to push you to go and put that paint to the mini, and then you feel good when it's there. Like I'm feeling really good about these little things that I did. But I can't wait to do it again. I just need someone to keep pushing me. I lack discipline. But anyway, we'll try to announce when we do painting more often, so you can paint with us. I definitely want to encourage more people to paint. I'm going to be a hypocrite because I don't paint nearly enough as I should. But we all should, right? It's relaxing. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pandemic. It's a great thing to do. And, indoors, and just get your mind off of everything, play some music from Tabletop Audio, and yeah, have fun. I can't wait to kill you guys or ally you with this thing that I'm painting.
We shall see in the future.
Right on. So anyway, have a good night, everyone.
Bye bye, everybody.